So let's start with human glossary. So human glossary, first one, markets. Today we're going to only have 9 human glossary and then we're going to continue moving forward, okay? Markets is a place where consumers and producers come together to buy and sell, to trade goods, to establish prices, to understand how much to produce. So generally, when we understand markets, we can understand them in a macro scale where we aggregate all this individual buyer and seller. Then we want to understand what is the output and what's the price that should be, that's good where it's equilibrium. So what's the price that benefits the most number of people, that benefits both producers and sellers. So markets, basically a place where people come together to buy and sell goods to trade. Pricing. So you probably hear a lot of pricing, how do I price this, how do I price that, how do I determine my price. In short, pricing is really an allocation mechanism of goods and services. What does that mean? It means that we can allocate or we can distribute products or goods and services through the different pricing mechanism. Some people price it with value based on how much people value it, and then I will price it and distribute it to the person with the most, who gets the most value out of it. Or some people price it differently as in production cost. So based on the cost, which is the amount I've invested into this to make this product, I'm going to charge you with a small markup, which is my effort. So pricing is just different kind of allocation mechanism, allocating goods and services or allocating the resources. Economic efficiency. Another word in the more economic term is Pareto efficiency, which means no one can benefit without another person losing out. So if we have like 10 suites and 10 kids, and everyone has one suite, and everyone demands that one suite equally, then that's efficient. By giving a child one more suite means that another person is losing out. So that's not efficient. Efficient where it's we usually call a stable equilibrium or stable state, where everything is given out efficiently and no one gets to earn more without someone losing out. Token economics. So token economics is the economics of the underlying token ecosystem. It sets forth the architecture of the token economy, including governance mechanisms, token monetary policy, property rights, and it really determines the structure of the overall token governance and environment design. So we're going to dive a little bit more into that later and understand how tokenomics is what it is today. Intangible assets. So intangible assets is something I want to introduce in this lesson, so I thought it would be good to share it now. So it is an asset that typically involves the development of specific products or processes, or their investments in organizational capabilities, or to create or strengthen product platforms to position and compete in very specific kind of markets. So these token intangible assets could include data, information, knowledge, tacit knowledge, software capabilities, skills, property rights, research and development, innovation, creative thinking, design thinking. And this is something that's getting more prominent in the digital world today. So it's something that we need to start considering, and we need to learn how to take them into account when we're doing our accounts, right? How do we value intangible assets in our accounting? Token economy. Token economy is the environment in which participants interact with each other in the digital space. They can be facilitated by tokens or a form of unit of account. Data. Data are raw records, which are part of intangible assets. Data are just raw records. When we clean these records up, they turn into information because they're clean, they transform data. And lastly, it's very important, which is probably one of the most valuable intangible assets, is knowledge. Knowledge is just connecting information with evidence to form very coherent understanding about the raw data that was given to us. So these are the 9 human glossary that I want to introduce to you, and we'll look into some of them as we go on in this chapter.